Alright, so most of you guys know how I am. And yeah, I just can't let this fly. I gotta replace this. So, gonna start making a patch here. So I got kind of the rough shape that I need the panel to be. I made kind of witness marks on where this sits every time. Maybe. Ugh. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, so this panel sits about here. Happy every time. Let's make the marks here. Yeah. Okay, so these are where the detail lines are. Now I made this from the other side, so hopefully everything will line up to what I have. Maybe it won't, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out on the bench because I need a flat surface, so let's do that. Alright, so I transferred the paper template to here. It's a little off on some things, but I'm gonna fix that when I roll it. And I'm pretty sure this just needs to be, actually no, it needs to be skinnier. So yeah, maybe I'll just kind of like freehand this line first, and this one's pretty close. So putting a step die on the top, I think it's 3/8 step die, and I'm putting a 1/2 inch beading die on the bottom. That's what's been getting at least the start of the profile that I want for this. And then, like I did before, I'll just move over to the plunging hammer and beat it up and make it more of a circle. Okay, so I go here. That's an easy one. That's that. Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do. See if I can get it to work again. This one's just a straight line.
Alright, this side.
So that is the shape I'm looking for. Let's see if it meets up with the body. Boom. Actually looks pretty good. So let me, you know, fix some of this. It's kind of got marks on the backside from the bead roller. Let me even that out with the English wheel, maybe a corking tool or two, and then I'll hit this on the planishing hammer, stretch this out, hopefully get a nice rounded profile like we got here, and you know, see if we can fix this a little better. This profile is a little different. I guess it's it's like semi-round and semi-flat. It's kind of weird. So that's gonna be a little tough. I'm only doing half of it anyway, so I should be all right. Then this, it gets real small, but it's deep in here the way it's. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. First, let me go to the English wheel and then the planishing hammer. Alright, so I'm gonna make a Polmax die for this here. This little bead that goes here, and kind of, it's everything, but mainly just gonna use it here and maybe touch up here. Because I just, for some reason, it's taking me too long to get the shape I want. It's staying flat for some reason, no matter what the heck I do. And I try to stretch it because it needs it in the corner. It's all wavy and disgusting. So this is the profile of that bead with at the angle of the sheet metal on top of it. And this I made for the 37. The bead along the back bottom edge is like the same, almost the same thing. So I'm going to take this out of these holders, put it up against it, and just kind of put a Sharpie mark and file to that mark so it's a slightly different shape, and it should work out just fine, because really all I'm doing is cleaning up the profile. I have enough shape here and material. I just need it to form in the shape I want to, and it'll take me probably 10 minutes to file this and a minute to set the bead with the Polmax. So I'm just gonna do that. So let's do it. All right, so that took a while and was a pain in the butt, but I think it's worth it. So I think it looks much better with the whole thing replaced. I brought it all the way over here to get rid of this weld, get rid of this, and get rid of this chunkiness here. Yeah, it might not be the same as the other side, but it's pretty damn close. And I think it looks pretty damn good. So, replacing this. So let's cut this out. Get this tacked in place and hammered, because right now it kind of dips in and dips back out here slightly. And I don't want any of that, so I'm going to have to tack it and then hammer the back side. Maybe cut some of these tacks loose so it can stretch a bit. Bang it out so this becomes flat. Then we'll be cooking with gas, because this is where I want it. This is not. So, yeah. So here's this piece here. Might still do some hammer dolly in the corner here because it's kind of weird. I just noticed that, but other than that, man, this was so difficult to do. A lot of stretching, shrinking, stretching the whole bead out after. Man, yeah, I gotta crisp up this edge here, make it look more natural. It's kind of a flat spot here. Alright, so now that I got this pretty much all set the way I want it to be, I'm going to start. I'll do a rough cut like I usually do. Cut around everything. Get most of this crud out just in case this is getting hung up on something. It can kind of lay flatter than it is now. And see if my shapes are correct, which I think they are. So let me let's cut this out, most of it, all the crud and junk, and now we'll do another test fit, make another mark maybe if we need to, and then do the same things we did for this panel. We'll cut this in, cutting it in. And obviously there'll be some tweaking on this transition here because maybe it's not the same profile, and we'll make it happen, you know? We'll make it happen. Alright, so I'm going to interrupt myself here to show you guys what I mean. I think I talked about it before when I tack from one end to the other. And when I planish the tacks while I'm tacking, because, see, I've been going along here and I reached, well, it's happened a few times, but I hit this tack right here. I haven't planished it yet. And it got so tight after this tack shrunk that it no longer is a butt weld, it's a lap weld. And you don't want that. So, let me planish this out quick in real time. And put you back on the stand here. And I'll bring you back. And you'll be able to see how the gap opens back up after I hit it quick just with a hammer and dolly. Okay, so now, you see there's a gap in there now? So when you're tacking, you can tune the fitment as long as the mark you cut on was exactly either on the scribe line or the correct side of the Sharpie line. It's gonna fit fine. You're not gonna tweak the panel at all, but you can just make it fit the way you want it to. So that's why I go along. Tack planish, tack planish, tack planish if you need to. Sometimes you can tack it and it doesn't, it expands, it then shrinks back down, but it doesn't shrink enough that you need to do that. That's only if it gets too tight. Planish it back out and it'll open that gap up a little bit. It can open it up a lot if you want it to, but open up just enough so there's a little space in there, or just flush. I kind of hit it a few times too many. And there's a tiny little gap in there, but that's fine. That'll provide the weld to sink in there. And it's not like it's a huge gap. It's literally probably the size of a Mediterranean. A little bigger than a brunette hair. So that'll just be fine by me. Well, I knew something was wrong after those two blew out. I ran out of gas. So, I guess I'll be back on it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow late morning, because the gas store doesn't really open until I think 8 or something. I can't get started till then, so, you know. So I can't really do too much right now. Yeah, and it's too packed in here. It's been raining. It just started actually to stop, but I'm not gonna pull the car out. I'll just get back on it tomorrow. Pull this out, get the 36 out of the way. I'll finish this patch up. Then I will. What do I do? I don't know. I don't know what I'll do, but I'm gonna finish the patch up and continue. Maybe I'll chop the doors and see if they fit because of this whole debacle. I don't know what's going on there, so maybe we'll see if the doors fit because they're unchopped. I'm gonna have to chop those, get them swinging, get them closing. So, all right. See you guys tomorrow. got some gas. Finished tacking in this piece, as you saw. Looks great. I might need to do some tweaking here. This shape is a little off here. Got it to match up, but it's, see the way the light's hitting. It's kind of off. So gotta fix that. Rest of it laid in nicely. Let's see. Oh, I got a new mask, as you saw. Nice ESAB helmet. The other one, the plastic on the headset was like worn out, so I'd flip it up and it would immediately flip down. But I put some stickers on there. I got a Rod and Style sticker, bare bones, San Antonio, Texas, my buddy. Model T Obsession, Gritzco sticker, Drunken Wolf Car Club, that's Cheater Slick Culture, and I got, of course, repping the Old Yankee Speedco holographic sticker. Pretty cool. So, you know, I like to keep them simple and nice theme. They're all kind of the same color-ish, so that's cool. Well, back on this, I think I'm gonna just, you know, weld her up, or weld it, not weld it up. See what I did there? I fixed it. I caught myself. Yeah, so welding time. I think I'm gonna go all around too. You know, weld all this down here, come around, up and over, weld this down here, all across and up. So I got some work to do. Then I need to take a DA to this because it's way too shiny, and it's actually picking up some rust from just sitting here in the air and me touching it. Even the littlest touch will, that's like a hand mark right there. So it's kind of annoying. Alright, so I got some packages. 1, 2, 3. It's supposed to be 4. I only got 3. See, that's just 2 of 4. So, got one box missing. Not going to open this up until he brings the 4th box, because that's probably what I need. And I'm going to start probably tomorrow. Probably cut out on this after I have the whole thing welded. Probably won't planish anything or grind anything off. I'll probably just get it welded up, and then I'll start working on this. So I'll start with the small stuff, like this little hole here. I think I'm gonna smooth out the factory seam weld on the cowl. I mean the the deck over here. Just little things. Try to get the dents out of this corner, each side. Yeah, just a bunch of little stuff. So yeah, that's about it, because I really don't want to start replacing panels without the chassis here. The chassis guys should be done in about a week, and then I can, well, it's going to be a kind of a mess getting the chassis here. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I don't know if he's going to drive up from New York again and drop it off, or if just going to have, or if we're just going to have a friend help us pick it up. Not sure. Either way, need the chassis here to replace the major panels like the floor, the firewall, that kind of stuff. Not going to do it and then have to do it again. It's not the way to do it. So I'll be working on Vic for the meantime. So speaking of that, let's continue on it. Let's finish that weld up on the panel, then maybe start cutting the doors in half. Alrighty, so this is welded in now. As you can see, I am not going to do anything with the welds right now. Just going to leave it welded in like this. It is dipped in here because of this weld that goes across this the bead, and this weld right here really doesn't help anything, so it kind of pushed in. But I'm going to cut the bird cage, some of the bird cage out. I wanted to keep it in there because I didn't feel like messing with it, but I got to take it out because I got to beat that back straight, and it'll give me room to have my planishing hammer in here and planish out these welds, even though everything's pretty doggone flat, I'll tell you that for free. But so you can see it's a little beep, beep, poked in a little bit here. That should come out just fine though, and everything else came out good. So I think now I could work on this roof panel, but I think I want to make sure the door fits first, because if it don't, there's going to be a lot of work to do. So, and it's crazy because I have no idea how much this has been chopped by. Like, I have zero idea. So I got to put it on here, hang the door, and just kind of see where I need to cut. I'll probably do just like they did, cut above this second hinge. Hopefully it'll all work out. But yeah, let's get the door on here and put it in. Hopefully I don't have to, hopefully this hinges on the door, and it doesn't look like there is. Alright, fun. Alright, back in the shop here today. So I'm waiting on stuff for the Vicky. I was gonna do the cowl patches down here, but I need to find out the fitment on the bottom near the door, and I can't hang the doors yet because I don't have the hinges on the door side. The body side's fine, see, they got the hinges here, and I even have them on the other side, and I have new pins in here too. So the body side's fine. The door just doesn't have any hinges. The passenger one does, but the driver one's got nothing in it, and it's already been half chopped. So before I move any further, he's going to order the hinges for the door side, and those doors are totally empty, there's nothing in them. So he's going to get latches and catches and all that stuff for the body and the door, so everything can shut nice, and I can gap it, chop it, do my thing there. And this is not priority number one, this is priority number two. So number one, like we saw, we got some patches in yesterday. I'm going to open these boxes, see what we got. Also, just going to do some small stuff. I think I mentioned this before. I'm going to tackle this guy first, this little antenna hole, maybe that guy, that little hole, stuff like that. This guy, this seam, I think I mentioned all this. So I'm gonna work on this as much as I can. I'm gonna try to touch it the least amount as I can. I've already seen somebody has touched it there. not me. So I'm going to DA that quick, make sure that doesn't grow. But the rest of the body seems to be doing well. I have not touched it at all, and if I have touched it, it has been with gloves. So super duper job, Travis. Even though it's been humid and raining like crazy here, we had a drought, and then all of a sudden it just rain. It's getting better. Today's sun's supposed to come out, so I don't know if it's true, because it's already probably 7 o'clock and everything's still wet. But regardless, I'm going to start working on this, the top side. I'm going to get the top side squared away, because I can't do anything on the bottom until I get the frame here. So let's start doing something. Alright, so I got this hole drilled out. Got that nasty plate out of the back side. So this is what was butted up against. This is the back side. They see they blasted it. But this was kind of just stuck to that. And once I broke some of the welds, it just kind of popped right off, because the welds didn't really stick to this. You can see, I don't know. Welds just didn't stick. It's a piece of crap, and it goes in the scrap pile. So I'm just gonna make make a circle that fits in there. Simple as that. Yeah, this is really not rocket science here. Just literally gonna cut out a rectangle or a square and shape it to the shape of the body right here. Then put it on the back side, scribe the circle, cut it out. Bob's your auntie. Alright, so that's the first hole fixed. You know how we do over here. So gotta do that to everything else. Make everything else look like this. You can tell from the back side, it's a hole. Not faking. Alright, so it seems like I got most of the panels besides the floor. And I'm still waiting on some cowl pieces from somewhere else because I don't like the way EMS makes the cowl pieces. I really don't like the way they make these pieces either, honestly. Like, that's it? That's all you're gonna do? I honestly think somebody bead rolls these. I don't know, they might be stamped. But like this should curl around like it does from the factory. And the bead's nowhere near deep enough. Look at it. It's a little shallow bead. Look at the factory one. I can't really tell. This has been replaced, but it's deeper than that, I think. But, and this edge just fades off into nothing. I know this edge probably, they do this because it fits coupes, sedans, it would fit everything. Maybe not a sedan, but coupes, roadsters, stuff like that. Two-door sedans. But see, it ends. And it curls over, and the bead's still there. It's a little bit more complicated than just that. But I guess this is a better start. Instead of me getting this far, bending it, making a die and all that stuff, I'm already this far. I just need to deal with the end and fold that end over. I don't know. I guess it's a better start than I had. But they should fix at least that end, because that end is the same no matter what it is. That end I get, I understand. Overall it's good. But let me just go through the stuff so you're aware of what you get when you order. Like this tail pin here, it rolls around, but there is a little more detail. I know this is kind of messed up, but it rolls all the way around, and there's a really deep bead that runs right in here where the fender sits in. That is not a detail that's in these patches. I know it's an extra step and they can't just stamp that out, but something you're gonna have to look for. It's not just you buy these patches that you get from these companies and it just fits right on and it's all happy, nice. It's not. There's a lot of work that still has to be done. Yeah, floor is kind of self-explanatory. These running boards, smoothie running boards that they make, it's kind of odd that they just kind of, well, see, this one broke in shipping. There's a few tacks that they put on here, but like this one, it's not even lined up. Like, catch my edge on there. I don't know. It's just, it's got like 3-4 booger tacks on it. I've gotten some before, like for the 37 sedan delivery. I forgot what brand that was, but they fully welded it and dressed the weld. Like, that was all set. Like this side too. Just got a few tacks on it. And these are just bent along the perforation and it's not even filled in. Not that I can't handle that, But just for the guy that can't and just wants to buy smoothie running boards, there's still a lot of welding to be done on these. Just so you guys know, if you buy these from EMS, there is some welding to be done. But overall, the shape is great. It's nice and straight. I'm sure the bends are in the correct location, but I will confirm that when we get the frame back. Ooh, something else I did quickly before I started working today. I took my planishing hammer off of the Pullmax. Right now I just have the bracket on here. I might take that off. I'm going to take that off. Yes, it was a good idea for compact planishing and stuff, but I had my other one on this stand here, my water valet, or however you say it. I know someone's going to correct me in the comments. I had it on this wire stitcher stand, and it had this tiny little hoop on it, and I wanted my water valet to be my dedicated planishing hammer on a stand, so I don't ever have to use that as handheld. I will use my JRM Tool Company Milwaukee prototype, Milwaukee, what do you call that? Copy, I guess? Not a copy because it's like an exact copy, but the Milwaukee style hammer as my handheld. Like I bring it places, change the different hoops and do all that stuff. So I took one of my Milwaukee style hoops and just sanded down the end a little bit, and granted that took like an hour because I need to take like 20 thou off of it for my water valet head to fit on, and it does, and it's perfect. And now I can use all of my, let's see here, now I can use all of my CP style dies that I have a shit ton of. And I can also use the one water valet die that I got with it, because they all have swivels on it, and I have a swivel adapter for my CP style dies. Look at that. I can still use that loaf die, and I want to get more of these loaf dies. I can get them through JRM though. He makes a nice set of loaf dies. But now I can use every style die and have a larger hoop, so that I'll have no real issues when planishing out big stuff. The only thing I need to do now with this hammer is get a regulator. Nice little regulator. I gotta move this, I think, because it hangs down a bit. It will never really get in the way of the panel, because the panel is usually going to be curved this way. But I think it still pokes down a little too much for my liking, so I want to try and adapt something so the line comes right out and up, and I'll mount a like regulator like I have on my Milwaukee style hammer, so I can just come up, adjust it while it's right here, easy access. Because right now it's just whatever the compressor's set at, and that's usually max, and that just smooths material. It really doesn't, it's really not, you know, smoothing anything out. It's kind of just smashing shape into it, which is fine. I can just go in the little room there, turn down the compressor quick, and get to my smoothing pressure. But I'd rather have it on here. I can adjust it wherever I want to mount it. Probably back here, out of the way of the lever and everything. And instead of zip tying the lever, I had it zip tied before, but I have a clamp now. So if I ever, I don't know, I don't think I'll ever have to use this. That's for when it's handheld. But I have the option. I didn't want to leave something permanently done. Come on. Finger strength, come on. There we go. Okay. So that's on there. So I have my water valet planishing hammer with my CP style hoop and accepting CP style dies. It's great. It's on wheels, and I have a foot pedal with it. Literally the only thing I'm missing is that regulator. So I'll probably order one tonight so I can have that soon, because this is really nice. I have the nice deep hoop size that I was working with on when it was mounted to the Pullmax, but I can literally move it anywhere. There's a big panel and it was hitting the wall or the Pullmax. I've ran into that many times, and it's just nice to have it. I can move it into a nice open area and just start planishing away. Or if there's a fit I need to get with a panel, I don't have to keep running back and forth to the Pullmax. I can literally just move it over to where I want to work. Say right here near the 36, I'm trying to get a fit on that lower panel. Get the shape nice. Go down, check it, come back up, hit some more. So it's gonna be real nice. Stoked on that. All right, so the rest of the floor came in. Just random floor pieces, bunch of floor pans, trans tunnel, and you know, that old chestnut. So we'll see if that actually fits. So this floor, I'll show you the directions. It's literally just a bunch of little pieces. So this is the front, 3 pieces at the top, 3 pieces down there. Rear floor, we got 3 more pieces and 7 more pieces down there. Jeez. You couldn't just stamp it out of one piece and call it a day. You had to do all this. Tiny little pieces. I hate when they do this. Well, is what it is. I'll have to make some bracing underneath, because I can almost guarantee that the floor is going to be all wibbly wobbly once all that shit's together. If it's not one solid piece, I know I'm going to be welding it together, but still see some nightmares in my future. Wow, this is a lot of car. That's the whole floor over there. Then this is pretty much the rest of it. Trunk floors. Jeez. Woo. All right. So what's next? Without a frame, what can I do? I was thinking about doing these. I talked about these like 3 times. I think I'm gonna wait on them. I think I'm gonna wait. Okay, so I fixed this little piece here that connects the 2 inner fenders and I think the grill together. And there's a weld right in there. There was one there and it was not that great, so now there's a smooth one there. Smoothed out the backside too. You know, this was easy one. Start with this. Let me, you know, I like to start with the easy stuff on big projects like this because it just kind of jumping in and doing something big. I can't do it right now because the chassis is not here, but it also gets me motivated and confident to do bigger things. I know it sounds stupid that I built that 37 from like nothing, but it just, even I start a project like this the first time, it's still like, it still feels like the first time I'm doing it. I know I haven't done a ton, so it should kind of feel like the first time, but I always am like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I get into it and I'm fine. So I start with little ones like this, and I'm like, all right, did that little hole, came out perfect. Did this little weld, came out perfect. Now go on to bigger and bigger things and start shaping and tweaking panels. And next thing you know, the car's done. So if you're hesitant to work on a project of this magnitude, just take it literally step by step. Little antenna hole, now that's done. Don't have to do it. This panel is fully done. I don't have any welding or any fab on it anymore. It's all done. Unless when I do the custom grill, this might have to be modified, but that's totally different. It's done for now. I'm going to put it in some self-etch if I have enough. I did have some in that can. I really wasn't sure how much. I shook it and I don't know. Might be enough for this, so let's try it and see how it comes out. Alright, well that didn't work out. I had two cans, one was self-etch and one was just primer sealer. Tried to cover half of it with each and it really didn't work out. I think I covered most of it, but I'm gonna have to get some self-etching primer because that was lame. I thought I had like 6 cans, to come to find out I used them all, so whatever. Alright guys, that's it for this one. You can see this here. I just have to weld up the cracks from the, what do you call it? The louvers. But other than that, it's all set. All the holes are fixed. That one over there was a pain in the butt. That one. And this contour is fixed. I thought that was flat, but it is not. It curls up, flattens out at the end, and it tapers down at that junction there. It's a pretty complicated piece, but everything's flat where it's supposed to be flat and curved where it's supposed to be curved. There's no booger welds on any cracks anymore, so this one's pretty much done. Like I said, just those few cracks, but I'm heading inside. I had the garage door open for too long, and well, it's still open now. There's a bunch of bugs in here to eat me alive. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, clicking the bell, sharing my videos. Jeez, wife wants me inside. Catch you in the next video.